Picture it. The year is 1999. Two students are in an English class together in school. They want to pass notes to each other because the class is sort of boring. The girl sitting opposite, the boy, in this case me, reads print. I read Braille. Neither of us can read the other's medium very well, if at all. What do? Well, most people, I think, in school would just throw paper notes at each other, right? Maybe an aeroplane or two if the teacher wasn't looking. But in a class size of just 6 or so people, that's not that easy. The teacher was very observant, and not stupid at all. She could afford to pay attention to each student anytime she wished. So before the internet, before decent email, and before Wi-Fi, how did we pass notes? 4 million board, infrared. Fun old times. I remember we both had the same Toshiba laptop, and we'd type out a little file in Notepad using Windows 98, I guess, maybe even 95, I don't even remember. We'd save that file to the desktop, we'd right-click, choose Send To, and choose Infrared Device. The same way these days in your Send To, if you've got Bluetooth, will be Send to Bluetooth device. We had to be line of sight, we had to make sure that no books were between the back of both of our laptops, and we'd talk about what we were going to do this weekend, and hang out with our friends, and whatever else. And sometimes help each other with work too. It was fun. She was geeky as a girl and I liked that. I didn't date her, by the way. Just have to put that in there. But we also used to play Duke Nukem together, but not in English class. That was later. And I can't remember if we did that over the infrared connection. Probably not, because if you sneezed or looked at it funny, it would drop. But we'd use Serial for that. Funny old times, good old tech. What's the strangest thing you remember doing in school? Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious to see what people used to do. 99, 2000, that kind of era was a very interesting time for change. All sorts of things happened. I remember watching, for example, BBC World in 2000, 2001, after I'd left school, and someone was talking about the technology of tomorrow, and they were talking about Wi-Fi and wireless, and saying that at some point you would be able to watch this very broadcast that they were talking about on a handheld device. Phones weren't really considered to be that necessarily at the time, but maybe like a video tablet or something like that. And I thought, this is completely impossible. It never happened. Now, 16 or so years later, or 17, we do that all the time. You might well be watching this very video on a handheld device with no physical wires to the internet. Internet? What's that? And here we are today. So as I sit here and show my age and reminisce about old tech, what impresses you about tech of yesteryear? Because I remember being very impressed and looking back that 4 million boards, 4 million bits per second, I guess. Was it board? I think that was bits, yes. So about 4 megabit. So we're talking maybe 480 kilobytes a second. Someone please correct me, because I know that that's probably slightly wrong. That was faster than any residential internet connection, or at least most of them at the time, unless you were in perhaps one of the Koreas or Sweden. We certainly didn't have that in the UK, it was all dial-up at that point. So I was very impressed at the speed at which we could transfer things, and outside of English class we'd send MP3 files and stuff to each other, back when full-albums.com was a thing and Napster was a thing. So one of us would go and get a couple of albums on the school's network connection, which was faster than 4 million baud, and we'd collect them and then send them. And one time we tried to do more than 2 connections together, so you'd have to sit in a triangle, 3 laptops all equidistant from each other, and that means that 1 was connected to 2 and 3, and 2 was connected to 3 and 1, and 3 was connected to 1 and 2. And we could send files only to 1 at a time, possibly, I think. But you could receive from both. There was some weird way that we managed to do it, and I remember being quite intrigued by this fact, and oh wow, that worked. So yeah. But of course, being line of sight and infrared, if you put anything in the way of that, tough. That connection is dropped, your file is gone, never to be seen again. At least at the other end, you still had a copy of it, of course, on your desktop or in your files, so you would just have to resend it. But at that speed, it didn't take very long. Certainly faster than if you dropped a dial-up connection 96% through a file transfer. That was never ever a fun time, was it? I'm sure you have, or at least some of you, have been in that situation. Not good. Not welcome. Anyway, that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that bell icon if you're not subscribed. Hope you enjoyed this little reminisce down the memory lane of tech. I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you for watching.